Hi, this is Cristina Dam, and this is Liberate the Podcast, where we educate, motivate, inspire, and liberate your consciousness.
Right. So hi, everybody. I'm excited for this podcast because you're going to laugh. Guaranteed, or your money back. Oh wait, it was free anyways. No, today we're featuring Aaron and Lindsay, and they host Full Moon Comedy with us every single month, and we're gonna learn a lot about them. We're gonna laugh a little bit, and we're gonna explore this exploration of where it goes.
Yes. I'm here for it.
All right, so I wanna start because one of the things that I found out recently is you guys have the same birthday, right?
We do.
Okay, so same year, not same year.
Couple years difference.
Yeah, she's 4 years older than me, if you can't tell.
Absolutely not. I am younger
I'm older.
by like 40 40
years, wow.
40,
You're advanced.
100.
You're negative age.
I am.
You're looking really good.
Yeah, I can't wait till you're born. That'll be cool.
No, December 14th.
Okay, that was my next question. When was your birthday?
December 14th, hardcore Sagittarius.
Hardcore.
We are really different though, right?
But are we? That's what I'm trying to figure out. We're different on the surface, I know that, but like,
Well,
are
you
we the
both
same?
have come together, you do comedy, and you host a full moon comedy that focuses around some spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be that different.
Can't be that different?
Yeah, no, totally.
But she triggers me a lot. Does that mean that she's similar to me?
A lot.
Yeah,
That's probably what it is, that we're similar.
reflection.
Yeah.
And she triggers me.
The things that you don't like about yourself, you see in each other, and then it makes you mad.
It's magnified.
Yeah, I feel like I talk to Aaron as if he is like a family member.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, in the same way where it's just like like instinctual.
Yeah, and you trigger me like a family member. It's great.
I mean, I'm trying to be nice, but okay.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to be real, but sad.
But let's back it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So how did you two meet?
Chicago.
Yeah, we both started comedy in Chicago. Aaron was doing it a couple years before me, and then I came in, and we weren't like tight in Chicago. We like were friends, but not like super tight. And then
we came out here, and it's like LA, whoa, big world. So we just were like, oh, let's be friends. I guess we'll be friends now. We didn't know we had the same birthday yet.
No.
Okay.
We didn't know each other like that well, but it was very much like, oh, okay, well, we'll be friends now.
Yeah.
This just makes sense.
Okay,
yeah,
let's
it's logical.
Yeah.
Well, no, that happens a lot when people move to a different town. Like, it's like the people from your, like, town of origin or area that's familiar. You're like, oh, let's all group together. Like, once upon a time, I dated a girl from Finland, and, like, she hung out with all Finnish people, but they never knew each other from their country.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. There is something that, like, draws you to, like, that commonality that it's just really comforting.
Yeah, and at least you knew each other from the same school and the same studying, so it wasn't like you were complete strangers.
No,
Just
we
like
had done shows
Chicago
together.
Club or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, for sure. We knew each other, so that was cool. And then we were both into this, like, spiritual shit, so.
Nice. So, like, wait, so how long ago did you move out here?
I moved out here 5 years ago.
I moved out here 5 years ago.
Yeah, so you were, like, a couple months before me. You were definitely here before me.
Okay. And we weren't friends for like a year, but then...
That's not true. I feel like we got coffee.
Well, okay. Sure.
Anything,
No, but, like, it took a second.
anything ever more than friends?
No.
Okay. Just clearing that up for everybody.
She's been in a long-term
I've been
relationship.
with my
Otherwise, she
boyfriend
probably would have asked me out.
For 10 years, absolutely not.
No,
like,
but her boyfriend's
literally,
really cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Also, dating a Sagittarius would be like a full nightmare for me.
Oh, that's what I'm doing. So.
Oh, that's right. I always forget. And your girlfriend's lovely.
She's great.
She's amazing. I don't get it.
She's a cusp.
Oh,
Scorpio, who you also hate.
I do hate Scorpio. What are you?
Libra.
Okay, Libras
Okay,
are
we get
just
along with
great.
Libras.
They're
We
nice.
just do balance.
Yes,
Yeah.
very balanced. Yeah, the hypeness of a Sagittarius. I just feel like I would.
But I'm a Sag rising, so I very
Okay.
much come across as a Sagittarius.
Okay.
Interesting.
Nice.
I
I think I'm a Libra rising, so we're like...
Are you?
Oh, we get
so.
each other.
Cancer,
Yeah.
Gemini. My mom doesn't know what time I was born.
Oh,
Mine doesn't either.
She was like, in between 4 and 6. And I was like, well, that just so happens to be the cutoff. So sometimes I'm Gemini, sometimes I'm
I think you're Gemini.
They don't put that on the birth certificate? Like,
I've looked at, they don't have it on mine. Do they have it on yours?
They don't have it on mine, and I don't know what it is either.
Yeah, I have no idea. So
like, isn't that like illegal? Like, aren't they supposed to like write what time you're born?
I assumed, but
sometime between 4 and 6.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I think it was between 4 and 6, and I was like, well, pick a side.
They don't understand how important it is. Like, I tried to ask my grandma. She's like, "What? Why, honey?" I'm like, "Oh, you don't understand. I need to know about myself.
I know.
How else am I gonna know?"
I tried to like get markers from my mom.
How am I gonna
like,
know about me?
I was like, well, where was the sun when it happened? She's like, I don't know.
Where was the sun?
Where was the sun during your epidural? So, yeah, I don't know, unfortunately. But so Cancer, Gemini, Libra.
I think it was Libra.
Is there a cusp?
I don't.
For you?
I don't remember.
They couldn't. She couldn't give you a range.
I don't know.
She just picked a number and said, "This is what time I feel it. You were born."
I asked my dad, and he said 11 a.m. And then I asked him again, and he's like, "For sure, 3 a.m." So, so I don't know.
Your dad's like, "I'm not being helpful, but I'll try."
Yeah. You believe in that stuff?
That's a very different 11 a.m. and 3 a.m. That's like what? Like how many hour
Day and
difference?
night.
How many signs of a difference is that?
Truly day and night.
Yeah. So when did you decide that or find out that you had this like spiritual like interest together?
Together?
Yeah, like I mean, like you went in and you had a coffee here, maybe you didn't have a coffee here,
question.
but
Yeah, that is.
Because when did we know that?
I don't know.
I didn't know you were into that. When did you get into it?
I didn't know that you were into it. I've been into it forever.
Me too.
I've been like going to psychics since I was in high school. And my mom like she gave me like a deck of tarot cards that she like learned how to use in college and like all that stuff. So I was like always like very into it, but I don't know when we connected on it. Was it like meditating maybe?
No, we never meditated together.
Well, not meditated together.
Renee was our spiritual.
Renee was the connection. Renee Gaudier.
I'm not sure if I know her.
She's a super, super funny comedian, and she's like one of the first people that like introduced me to like all the good spots. And the Los Feliz spot was one of them.
She sent me there.
And she introduced us to Helen. And like, so I think Aaron and I we were like both friends with Renee. Renee was guiding us to like the same places and like spiritual guides. And then I'm pretty sure that's like through Renee. I think she was
maybe I did your podcast and we got into it.
Yeah, that's right.
They had a podcast together.
Yeah, called Dead Dads Club, and where we where we had like people on who like lost their dad or like a parent, and then
intense.
Yeah, and just like talked and laughed because it's like anybody that's lost someone, there's like
we get it.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about it, but when you can, it's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, especially with someone who's also had that. Because it's harder to talk with someone who hasn't.
Yeah.
You're just like, it's a big deal, but like we don't need to like go there. It doesn't need to be a big deal right now, you know?
Yeah, like you think of the weird, stupid things, and then that's the stuff you want to talk about. But yeah, so that's how. Okay,
that's how.
Renee.
Wow.
There we go.
Okay, and in your career as comedians and all of that, like, and then tying it in with spirituality. Let's hear about both of this.
Well, a lot of people in our world, they combine the two things they love. We have friends who love wrestling, start a wrestling show, podcast, and that blows up, and they're like, oh, I just did the thing I love. People who love music and comedy, combine them, it becomes something. So we're just like, this is what I love. I've been trying to figure out how to make spiritual stuff funny for so long, and I'm still trying and I'm still doing it sometimes, but like finally it was just like, why don't we just start a show at a crystal shop and then just figure it out there.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's running a show in general, like running comedy shows can be like really daunting and exhausting and like deplete your energy, and like really stressful. And so it's also kind of nice to just be like, here's this thing that makes me feel really, really good. And then here's this like, you know, other thing that I love that can be stressful. And then like mixing them together is just like, oh, this is pleasant all around. Like this is just.
Yeah, like everyone who comes and does our show here is like, oh, I just feel good. Even if they didn't do as well as they wanted to on stage, they're like, it doesn't even matter. I'm just going to touch this crystal and feel better.
They love it. Everybody like, you can feel the energy and it's just like very different and nice. And I love, it's like also a great excuse to just like continually like meet interesting people and like get people to like, everybody's low-key curious, I feel like.
And you structure it different, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like tell everybody a little bit about how your show is structured.
Yeah,
so we start off, I do a meditation.
It's funny.
A funny guided meditation. It's also healing, so.
Well, it is.
It is. Like I like, you know, there's one time you were doing it and I was just like kind of getting bits and pieces of it. Yeah. And there's one time that I allowed myself to really actually go in it and I was like, man, this is actually a really good meditation. And it made me chuckle a few times.
That's
but
crazy.
Now I feel lighter and more balanced after.
I have no idea that's happening because I'm like only listening for laughs. Even though I want people to feel good, my comedian brain is like, oh, I'm bombing. Like it's not getting enough laughs. But then people are like, oh, I feel good though. I'm like,
yeah, there's like something magical about it's like it gives you permission to let go, and then it's like also the experience of like being in meditation and then laughing in it is like fun. So I don't know, but it's great. Yeah. So you start with your meditation.
Start with the meditation, and Lindsay goes up and starts hosting.
Yes, I host it and just kind of like explain the concept. Mm-hmm. But we have 3 comedians every show, sometimes 4, depending on people in town. And then after everybody's set, I go up and give them crystals. Based on their set.
Expert.
No, I am not an expert.
But you do a really good job, though.
Thank you.
She roasts people.
I know, it's like I low-key roast people.
You need to forgive. Here's
be like, well, you're holding on to a lot of anger, so take this. You know, you're mentally ill, so this should help. You know, like something. I mean, it's fun and it's cool too because it's like nice to give people something that they can walk away with, and then. Also, it's like, again, if you're like even slightly curious and you're just like, oh, maybe I can use this.
Yeah.
So it's cool. And then we have a spiritual guest at the end.
Spiritual guest to close it out. And that can be magical. Like when you did it, that was amazing.
It was incredible.
Everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. Like, because we knew the people in the crowd that you hypnotized and, you know, so we know, like, that's the first time I've ever known it. There was like, I don't think there's plants, but you know, your mind skeptic.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, wow, so you just did this to someone we know. And it was awesome.
Yeah, because there's those stage hypnosis shows where you're like, you wonder, right?
You do wonder, yeah.
Until you get trained in it, and then you're like, okay, they're scanning the audience and they're picking the little people that are going under like little flies. They're going down. Because you can observe and you can see where people are, you know, kind of falling a little faster, a little deeper, you know.
That blows my mind still. I know there's like, you have to be willing to let it happen, but I feel like my mind, I don't know how I could do it.
I'll hypnotize you one time.
Really?
Yeah, we'll knock you out.
I would love to see that.
I just can't even. I feel like it couldn't happen, but I want it to. I'm open.
Sure.
It definitely can happen and will. I don't think I've met anybody I haven't been able to hypnotize.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
I mean, it's a natural process in your brain, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you go into that state, that theta state, at least twice a day, but I would argue like you're in and out of it all the time. If you're ever driving and you're like, oh, I'm already here.
Yes.
You were under highway hypnosis.
Definitely done that.
Have you ever are almost getting in an accident or have this fight or flight response and everything's in slow motion and it sticks in you? You can remember the details of stuff. It gets embedded into your unconscious mind a little bit deeper and harder.
Yeah.
Right? That you enter into a state of like hypnosis shock. Right?
Okay.
So I mean, you're in and out of it. But anyways, enough about this. So you do these spiritual people or guests.
Yes.
You know, you've had Helen on there
we've
too.
had Helen. It's cool because we get to like literally, there's so many different practices and everybody's so different and like, you know, I love hearing about how people got into it and I think most people do because it seems foreign from like a distance. Because it'd be like, well, what, did you just decide you were a psychic? Like, I don't know. But it's cool to, like, hear people's, like, origin story and all that. So, yeah, we've had a Helen. We've had... we've
had psychics. Yeah, we had an animal psychic last time.
Yeah,
that's cool.
We had a pet psychic, and she was great.
Were there any pets in the audience?
We told people to bring pets, and no one brought me.
Nobody did.
Oh, I wish I would have known. I mean, I should have paid more attention. I could have known. I
know. Busy.
Maybe and Chewy would come.
I know. I was thinking that. Yeah. Well, it was interesting because she also said she was like, it's a lot easier to do it remotely because there's the energy of like the animal right in front of you is so strong that you can't like focus hard enough. That like it's because it's just like which makes sense. But I was like, tell me when my cat pees on stuff. She was like, no.
No, she said because she doesn't like you.
No, she said she legit was just like, you have to talk to her more. And I was like, I talk to her all the time.
She's all on your Instagram.
I know, I'm obsessed with her, but whatever.
Maybe you have to have like a deeper, more focused conversation.
Yeah.
I've been doing that, and so far so good.
Maybe you need to create an Instagram account for her.
Oh God, no, she doesn't deserve it.
Yeah, and just so she can feel a little bit more important, and she can track how many likes she gets.
Exactly.
Right, she's got a brand. She's got to go. She's in Hollywood. Maybe
She's
she moved here and you followed her. She's Hollywood. This is where cats make it in the movies.
Oh my God.
That's what she wanted. Right. She wants to be in like a comedy about cats.
Oh.
Is she going on auditions? She needs. Well, go get her out
Not
there.
a momager.
Momager. So, besides putting on these comedy shows, what else do you guys do? I know that you're, like share a little bit, like, the types of forms of acting, the different comedy shows, other comedy shows that you do and partake in, everything. I want to know everything.
Yeah.
I do all kinds of comedy shows. I run another show at the Improv, the Hollywood Improv down the street.
What days is that on?
That's on Thursdays, once a month. It's called Comedians You Should Know. You should check it out.
It's a really good show.
It's cool.
It's a really good show.
I also do a lot of writing gigs. I'm always trying to get more of those. So if you got one, what's up? I just put out my first album called Cosmic Joke.
It's very good.
Starts off with a meditation, so you can check that out on iTunes. I'm just plugging everything at this point.
Good.
But what else? I'll think of more. What do you got?
I run another show called Straw Men, which is like a comedy debate show, but you can't use facts. So it's just like really silly and just like ends up being like, well, your shirt's ugly, so you're wrong. Like
Where is it at?
We're still finding a home, but it's once a month. We just started it, but we've been doing it at the Lyric Hyperion.
Okay.
So we're still figuring out like a steady date, but so that's super, super fun.
So, maybe by the time it's launched or like later, if we've already put it out and we find it, we'll make sure we add that in.
Yeah, that would be dope. And then I bake and do like comedy baking stuff.
She's good. It's
Oh
good.
my God, yeah. Every show, there's these cookies and things. I probably shouldn't tell you that because you're going to come and eat them all, but I need to get one. But,
There's more. There's always more. Yeah, I love baking and I just like... I'm a psychopath and like love merging comedy and baking. It's like the same thing as like the whole spiritual thing. So
what do you mean by that? You're merging comedy and baking.
So I was streaming on Twitch for a while. Okay. And so I was doing
So you're like
that.
doing cooking shows while you're
Essentially it's like a cooking show and then it's like kind of like a talk show and then I'm doing these like Instagram videos and I just did a live frosting demo at this fundraiser that was so fun. And just like very sloppy and silly and like it evolves into like a weird interactive sort of performance thing where it's like, talking to people from the audience and then like people trying things and so it's cool. And so I'm working on putting that together as like a show. But other than that, just pitching it out
and doing it, making it happen.
Yeah, writing, all of the above, all of the Hollywood stuff, writing, auditioning, self-taping. All the stuff. I'm really doing all the stuff. That's the truth.
All the stuff, and you're both organizing 2 shows.
Yeah.
That's and that's a lot in it. Now, what makes this show, this cosmic, the full moon comedy, what makes this different?
Wow, this is my favorite show. I think this would be my favorite show to perform on, even if it wasn't my show. It's so fun. Everyone that comes to perform on it loves it. But what makes it different? We definitely have really good comedians every show. We're like very strict about that. It's
okay, so what's the guidelines? So if people are hearing this, like,
oh man,
okay. like so many people, they're probably like, I want to just come and perform. We hear that people come in here and they're like, oh yeah, I just want to do comedy.
Sure.
And I'm like, all right, well, talk to them or talk to I don't know what to say. So
totally. I'm laughing because Aaron and I go back about booking so crazily. We fight about it all the time. It's so many different things. It's like there's like a level of experience that is so valuable in like what makes somebody a good comedian. It's so debatable across the board.
It has to fit with the vibe of the show to some degree.
Yeah.
There's only so many spiritual comedians, maybe like 3 that I can think of that are like really fit, but other than that they have to be like,
because it's not like they're coming in and they're just hearing jokes about new age stuff,
no,
right?
It's everything.
Yeah, it's like people that are good to go with the flow in that sense, like that aren't gonna come in and be like, I don't know what am I doing there? I hate this. This is bad. Like,
or just like overly crass stuff.
Yeah.
We're not really into that too much. But I think,
am. So,
but we can't have 2 people like that.
That can be for your other show.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like just got like established comedians that are really funny that make. I think it's all about like feel good. Like I walked away from this show on like other shows and just been like, this is all like this is like why I do comedy. Nice. Like this is why I do it, because this feels great and it's fulfilling and people are happy. I'm happy. Like,
I think what really sets us apart is like the meditation, the spiritual guests. Those 2 things are like lifting people up a little bit.
In the cookies and the cakes.
The cookies and the cakes.
Yeah, and
it's
the crystals.
Like a sensory overload of just good.
Yeah, it's just a good feeling. We just want people to feel good, and we have like an excuse to do it directly. Like it's not like a different comedy show. It's like, we just want to make you feel good by laughing, but we can actually like make you feel good.
Yeah.
I love that. And so you add the different theme to it, but the comedians can be like, they can do whatever types of jokes
do whatever they want.
Yeah. But you have the meditation, have the crystal, making fun of people and giving them crystals. You have the baking and the treats, and you have the spiritual person. But how many comedians do you normally have? Do you have a set number?
We usually have 3, including us. Like not including us 2, we have 3.
Yeah. Okay. I'll usually open it up, but yeah, we try to keep it like a pretty. We want them to have like enough time to like show who they are and like do more than just kind of a quick spot, so you can like really focus on the comic themselves. So 3 is like a great number to allow them to shine.
Okay, so you have you have 3 different comedians, and you both do some stuff too. And then they have the spiritual person that. And where does the spiritual person kind of fall in?
Oh, they go last.
They go last.
So yeah, we ideally want to close the night on a real high. And that's what happens usually with the spiritual guests. So it's perfect. People leave with a great feeling.
Yeah, and it's like it's something to like look forward to. It's like a palate cleanser too. Like you kind of, it's an interesting transition and like mind
palate
frame.
Cleanser.
I guess like I'm making it seem like it's a positive palate cleanser, just from like going from like one place in your mind to another. Also, laughing really does open you up.
Yeah,
like if you really let yourself laugh, you just are in this place to like receive, which makes it so much cooler when someone comes in. Like I'm usually at that point, I'm like on a high where I'm just like, yeah, ready for whatever.
Yeah, plus it's hard to follow the spiritual guests. The laughs sort of stop for a while. Like some of them are funny, and that's cool too, but like it's hard for a comic to go back into the laughs after we took the break, you know?
Yeah.
So
totally get it.
yeah, it just
yeah,
flows
especially
better.
if somebody's like, you know, who knows what they're doing, right? You've had
Right.
everybody
Right,
and then
yeah.
in between, and then, you know, opening some portal or something.
Yeah, we've had some portals.
We've had some portals go wrong. No,
But it was fun.
yeah, it's just always, it's always an interesting experience. It feels very cathartic. That was the thing that we originally, catharsis.
Oh yeah, we had another show.
We tried a couple times to do a show like this, and it just like, and we did it at the Improv once, and it was like the worst. That's when we decided to do it at a crystal shop. We love the Improv, but like
It was not right.
It was not the
We
right
had
vibe. We tried
sage.
to light stage, and people were like,
is a comedy
"What
club,
is
like-
happening?" They hated it.
It was
You
also
would think
all
that,
actors.
like, I feel like
know.
so many actors and comedians and people are more and more open, or at least I see that as a huge like
Out here,
demographic
too,
for
yeah.
us. That you would be
Yeah.
surprised. I'm surprised that they were like didn't
Well,
know what
it's
to
like
do with it.
tourists too that are coming into town and they want to see comedy, and
Oh,
we're like,
okay.
"Ugh," like
Yeah, and plus it just was not what they were expecting in a comedy club, you know?
Yeah.
So even if
Yeah.
they're open, I think they're a little like, what's happening? You know?
Sometimes vulnerability will also like catch people off guard in a way where they're like, I don't know if I like this.
Well, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Yeah, exactly. Like if someone's really like, and I think that's one thing that we try to do is like be vulnerable. I think both of
sure.
us do that like in our comedy also.
Oh, similarity. Look at
Oh,
Look at that! The birthday is striking again.
Yeah.
that. Oh my god.
So it's like, and so in the wrong audience, like they're just like, I don't know, I don't want to hear about this in your life, and it's just like I'm sharing myself, like love me. So this is the perfect environment for that.
Yes.
Nice. And how how often do you do it?
As often as possible.
No, I mean we host it once a month here?
Yeah.
Oh,
once
the
a-
show. Yeah. Okay, once a month.
It's the second
Every second Friday
of every month, and
8:00. Show starts around 8:30.
Yeah.
But then why call it full moon comedy if it's not around the full moon?
Man,
Well, it's tough to schedule.
this stupid
It's better to have like
question,
a.
It's so reasonable.
I know, but well.
It's such a reasonable question. I'll take responsibility because
our
I'm
fault.
so bad at naming things. Initially, our plan was to do it on the full moon, right? So that like would be very cool and fun and like good vibes. And we were like, we'll definitely do it at a crystal shop. Not surprisingly, most crystal shops have a full moon ceremony of some sort going on. And so, like, every time we were like, yeah, let's do the full moon, they were like, no, we're not, no. But then we were like, I can't think of, like, a name. I was just like, I don't want to change the name. I don't really. And then now it's like totally like plagued us because everyone's like, why is it not on the full moon? So there's always somebody at one show that will be like, but it's not the full moon. I'm like, I know.
Oh, and you know what? I thought that it was just on the full moon or the Friday
Sure.
closest to the full moon
yeah.
every month. So, there's this one time there's these weird oranges that got delivered to our door, and it was during the full moon comedy. And so so I was like, oh my God, we've been cursed. There's like all when I'm telling you lots of oranges, they were like stacked up by our doorway and all of these oranges, and it definitely looked like some kind of like Santeria stuff.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, oh man. And then I was like, at first I was like, well, maybe there's somebody that was being nice or
Right.
something. And then I had brought some inside, and I think I even gave some away to people.
I feel like I remember this.
and then like 2 weeks later, there were more oranges happened again, but this time it wasn't only oranges, it was some other fruits too, and it was hangers, like wooden cutout hangers, and they were all over. And I was like, oh my
Whoa.
God, somebody's definitely doing witchcraft because it was a full moon and a new moon, because I went back to that, but it actually wasn't the full moon.
So you don't know who sent the fruit? No. You just got fruit?
So wild.
No, it was like
Whoa.
cases and cases of fruit. Like, I mean, when I'm saying like probably close to like 1,000 oranges. I'm not like exaggerating. They were like, and they were pinned open because we have the 2 doors. They were like cases of them like opened, and I was like, maybe somebody's being nice.
That's what I'm like. It's a big investment.
Maybe they're trying to get you to start a juice bar.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, juice these now.
But I was convinced forever that it was like, I mean, it could have been, but I was at first I was like, no, it was the full moon and the new moon because of full moon comedy.
I know, yeah.
And then there were, forget if it was Rebecca or somebody was like, they don't really do it close to the full moon. And I was like, well, why is it called full moon comedy? I just assumed.
The consistency, it's so hard because you want, like, consistency because it's, like, easy to be, like, second Friday of every month versus, like, figure out the full moon. Good luck. So, but I'll take responsibility for it. Maybe we'll change the name.
It's too late.
Or maybe you just try to get close to the full moon.
Yeah, you're right. That's another option.
Is there one Friday a month that's always close to the full moon, or
of course. There's
like a consistent every month.
Oh no, they always change.
Right.
But
I mean, maybe it's a possibility.
Yeah,
something to consider for sure.
I wonder if it'd be harder to be funny on the full moon because it's such weird vibes.
I go bananas.
Too.
I go crazy.
Yeah, I get real antsy.
I don't realize that it's the full moon either, and I'll just be like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, something's gonna happen.
I feel wild.
Maybe we're not gonna allow the full moon.
I like get really squirrely. I'm like impulsive and just like reactive to things.
Yes, I squirm.
Yeah, and then I'm just like, I don't know what's wrong, and I go outside and it's like, just like a full moon. And then I'm like, crazy. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they say that. They study like hospitals and crime, and that there actually is a spike during the full moon.
There's a spike.
Yeah.
Spike in heart attacks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, something about the blood. The moon and the blood.
Well, it's water. I mean, have you ever been to the Griffith Observatory?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so those that haven't been there, there's this one part that shows this movement of the tide at the place where the tide can fluctuate the most in one day or not one day, what in calendar month to form the moon.
Yeah.
And it's literally 3 stories different.
What?
So it's this cool thing. I wish I could, I probably need to track down the picture now and insert it. But it's like there's like a rowboat on the bottom, and then 3 stories higher there's another bridge built because sometimes the water goes that high. Whoa. And so it's this pulling of the moon actually causes this current and everything. I mean, it changes the ocean tides and the waves, and so it makes sense that if we're 70 to 80% water, that it would affect us in some way just because we're water. It affects water. It makes sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. No, 100%.
We're like another ocean, all of us put together with our blood. Great.
Blood ocean.
I'm grossed out a little bit. I'm just seeing blood swirling in my mind.
Thanks so much, Erin. Just a blood ocean over here.
That's what you are. You're a container for blood.
I know.
Me too.
So gross.
I know.
Do you have any aspirations to take the show around other places?
I want to do that.
Would love it.
I want to do it this summer.
Go on a tour with it?
Yeah, I want to do that soon. Yeah.
I would, it would be so fun, truly.
We got to find crystal shops that are cool. As cool as you guys.
Yeah, which will honestly be very difficult.
Yeah.
You guys are probably,
Well, we're, spirituality and creativity, most of them are just why would you want to do comedy
Which
here?
I
and
respect.
we're we built the stage for it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The intersection is so important. It's really weird to pitch, and they're like, what's the catch? And we're like, it makes people feel good.
Yeah.
We like it. I don't know. I'm sorry.
But definitely you could find some, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's become more, new age has become more and more popular.
Yeah,
we could do it. It doesn't have to be at a crystal shop. So,
no. We
can
figure it out now.
We should do it. I want to do it.
And now every month the comedians are different too that you have, right? So people should come every month, and keep on coming.
Everything's different every month.
Yeah, the whole show's different every month. So different comics, different guests, different meditations.
And we're getting some regulars now, so I have to do different jokes. Even so.
So the whole show is always different.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's one of these things that people can put on the calendar and say, this is what I'm doing on this Friday night, the second Friday of every month, because it makes me feel good. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to learn something about spirituality. And I'm going to do some kind of weird meditation. Right?
Totally.
Yeah. It's a fun night out, I think. Like, it's pretty well-rounded in that sense. And there's, like, tons of food around here.
Yeah. If you want to go out after, you're right in the thick
exactly.
of it.
So
and what does it cost?
Free
No,
donation.
it's a $10 donation, and that goes towards the cost of like just producing the show and like supporting like the just like the environment and all of that. So, but it is donation, so it is.
Yeah, we appreciate the donation. If you're super broke, you can come anyways. We're not gonna give you a hard time.
How can people turn that down? A donation, they can pretend they're broke if they want.
I know.
And or that, and so nobody's turned away. It's like way cheaper than any other comedy club because you normally have to do like a 2-drink minimum. We don't sell alcohol here, so there's no drink minimum.
And you'll likely find something in the store that also just like draws you to
you might buy something and then you go home with a gift, but
yeah, exactly. So it's a good night.
Yeah, and we get comics from like, Netflix,
HBO. Comedy Central,
Conan.
HBO.
Here we go, pitch it, let's go.
Conan, Netflix, HBO. We just Showtime.
The movie.
The Moon. What? No.
Cool, big name credits. Have you heard of them? You will now.
They all got blood. They all have blood.
No.
Sorry, I keep going back to the blood. Okay. They're all funny, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're well curated.
Yeah,
very
totally.
well curated.
Yeah.
Okay, so if people wanted to find you, where can they find you?
Social media, baby. My Twitter is at Lindsay's face because it's mostly a picture of my face. It's at Lindsay's face, and my Instagram is at Lindsay is a cat. Obviously I'm very bad at names. And then I have a baking Instagram that's at Big Stuff W Lindsay. And Full Moon also has its own Instagram.
Yeah, Full Moon Comedy LA, I think. Yeah, and I'm on Instagram. I'm at Weave Dreaming because Dream Weaving was taken, but whatever. Also at Aaron Weaver on Twitter. That's 4 A's because I don't want to put numbers in my name, right? That's where I'm at.
Love it. Yeah. And if you had to leave people with something, what would it be?
A cookie.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you have a cookie? Okay, they can't eat that, but
no, that's fine.
But if you had like a bit of wisdom, inspiration.
Yeah. I was going to say, you have more wisdom than that.
Oh, I messed up and said I had more wisdom.
It was like an object. Spotlight's on you, baby.
Wow. Just only look at your phone to watch this and then stop. Because, you got to be present.
I would just say let yourself feel good as much as humanly possible. Whatever that looks like, be open to different avenues of what can make you feel good.
Namaste.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. And until next time.
If you enjoyed this conversation, like it, subscribe, and share it with your friends. If you want some more amazing resources on your path of liberation, head over to liberateyourself.com and sign up for our mailing list. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram at Liberate Hollywood, all one word, or Liberate Emporium, all one word. Until next time, liberate yourself.